First version of the car that got developed was something will be today considered as a relic of the past. We are at a stage where, similar to IC engine, we have a technology of the next 100 years, which is GenAI. We don't know really that what all new use cases will really emerge from it.
When social media came into existence, all brands said that, no, this is just a fad, it will go away. Till the time that, it became very important because brands' reputations were going through toss and people were sort of really worried. And everyone thought that since this is somewhere digital, this will fall under either the head of digital or head of technology. People are almost seeing it as tagged to IT. I feel that there's a similar movement now where everyone's tagged AI to be a IT-led initiative. I'm a big optimist that CHRO has a big candidature to say that, we could actually lead this legacy.
And I genuinely, truly believe that if your data is not right, no amount of AI, no amount of frameworks will do anything to what you're trying to do, right? And what we've realized is most data frameworks and most AI and ML is essentially regression and correlation models on steroids.
All right, lovely to have you on the podcast today. And Vaibhav, Aditya, thanks so much for joining me.
Pleasure.
And I'm very excited about the conversation, especially because of the topic. We're going to have a discussion around how organizations are changing, transforming, especially in the age of AI and all that lies ahead of us. I always say that, no one has a crystal ball. So whatever you know as of today is what we can stand by. Tomorrow, no one knows. And so much is changing in the world of AI that whatever we say today, tomorrow morning, something else comes up. So with that caveat, let me kick off the conversation. But I would love to know about a little bit of background about both of you. So maybe Vaibhav, we can start with your journey a bit. What got you into HR, the people function, and then I'll come to Aditya.
So, Pushkar, I think there's a long story behind it, but I'll cut it very short. Never planned to be in HR. It's like serendipity at its best. In fact, I was very much into technology, not IT, but my engineering and core material science. As on my way to IIT Kharagpur to take an admission into material sciences post graduation. On the train journey, as I was flipping the prospectus, I came across human resources and I wondered, what is this? And it felt like a calling. And you won't believe, by the time the train journey ended, I had changed my mind.
Wow.
And when I went there to take an admission, the HOD there said, you are like all India rank under 100. You should not be taking into this admission. You should be going and then probably pursue your further studies in US. But I said, no, this is what I want to do. And that's the moment. Never look back. I think I'm enjoying the roller coaster ride. And I think the kind of satisfaction that I've been over the past few years, I get how small things can make an impact in people's life. Not really cliche, but true sense. I think there's no better satisfaction than that.
Wow. So actually, if I was to put it, you chose the profession, but the profession chose you. Sort of, it had a calling.
Yeah, I think in a way, say 20 years down the lane, if I am still pretty much excited about it, and I can see how I can spend another 20 years into it. So I must say that this profession and this calling chose me.
Coming to you, Aditya.
No, I think quite similar. So I'm in my graduation, I did applied maths. And nobody will say from there the right course of action is going to HR. I think as so happened, I felt the left and the right brain. And I think the question that changed it for me is, what are the best French fries in the world?
Okay.
You don't have to answer it without getting into copyright infringement, but we all know there will be one answer, right? And typically, the only differentiator is the person making it, the training that you give to that person. right? Because everyone has the same potatoes and the same oil and the same research and everything's all available. So what I realize is the quantum difference always is the human factor. And the left brain and the right brain, I found a good meld in this. Uh, in my journey, I've been a consultant for most of my life, leading business transformations because that's what the math guy wants to do. I've also had the opportunity to do leadership development and work in that space. And I've been able to do that largely because when you put them together, magic happens. And I've really enjoyed it so far. I think technology is something I'm grappling with and will continue to grapple with.
All of us are grappling with.
As somebody working in a tech firm, I don't know if it's appropriate, but we continue to grapple on that journey and figure out how it's shaping up. And that's been my journey so far.
Lovely. Vaibhav, what have been your passion areas in this field over the years? You've done a lot of work. I was going through your profile. What are some of the nuggets if our viewers would love to know that?
I think in the very first year of my HR journey, I had a great opportunity to do a digital transformation on performance management.
Okay.
And I'll share a little bit of snippet there. When we launched it, it was a mining company.
Okay.
Multiple locations. One of the oldest mining location was something where mining used to happen even 2000 years back.
Wow.
And when we launched this digital system, everybody thought that the latest, newest location with youngest workforce will like take it like a breeze. But what surprised me is that the location which was the oldest, with the oldest demographics, actually was at the forefront of this digital change. And I think this amalgamation of how everything in the organizational and people aspect can be amplified, made better because of the technology, the digital aspect, is something that I've been spending a lot of time. At the other end of the spectrum, I must say that in HR, there's a lot to be uncovered. And what I typically use an iceberg analogy, that what we typically talk about HR processes and systems is like the tip of the iceberg. When you go deep and you start looking at the psychological aspects, the deeper theories, I think there's a gold mine to be tapped on. And what I'm really looking at and working towards, and I think which keeps me excited, is the convergence of this. How you can uncover some of the secret frameworks on the psychology side, amplify them by using the technology, and make a real impact, that to an individual level. And been all through kind of roles. Became HR head at the age of 27, which was something when I look back, it's not something that I would say that is something everybody should look for. It comes with its pros and cons. So as a leadership journey, been doing that for quite some time. But I think what really excites me is bringing this kind of a transformation, bringing new concepts, new frameworks, applying new technology, and making a difference to the business, to the organization, and to people.
Lovely. I didn't know that. 27 and HR head. Wow.
Yeah, so that was a leap of faith by my ex-boss. And I must share this. When he called me and said, would you like to join this organization as HR head? I said, did I hear it right? I'm like just a couple of years of experience guy.
Yeah.
He said, no, why don't you give it a try? My question to him was, do you think I can succeed? He said, I don't know. And I told him, then why are you offering this to me if you don't think I can succeed?
Yeah.
And his answer has become like mantra of my life. Even if you fail in this, you'll be far ahead than if you continue to do what you're doing right now and do it successfully. And I think in that moment, I got the mantra of my life.
I actually love the Bezos framework of decision making. Bezos says that, if you are to take decide between two things. You need to take a decision. Take a decision that you would regret less later in life, and just makes it very simple, saying that shouldn't regret. Like, chances of failing are there everywhere, right?
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, it was a leap of faith. When I landed, for a few days, I thought, did I take the right decision?
Those are the best jobs. Always.
Yeah. It was like baptism by fire. And things I can't imagine, everything I had to face. And it's like you're gaining the experience first time, you're learning on the job, you have to solve the issue, you have to deliver. Everything happening in parallel tracks.
Yeah.
But it was a great fun.
Something similar in your journey as well, Aditya? No.
No, I think I've been fortunate as a consultant.
Baptizing others by fire.
As a consultant, I've had chances which have been very fortunate. We've got to do things. I think in my most recent stint with Darwinbox, right, what we're starting to do and what we're trying to do has been an interesting journey. 10 years back, a couple of friends were talking, and it seemed like a foolhardy idea at best, right? Take on the greats of the world. And this is a space which is really, really, truly dominated by a few major players. And I've had the privilege of always working in organizations where your visiting card carries weight. You give that visiting card and all doors will always open. They will always say hi to you, and they'll always be open to say having a coffee.
Yeah.
Right? I've been very fortunate that way. Once the visiting card changed, quite a few things changed. But the journey has been very rewarding in the sense that we've seen that journey happen and change and evolve, where today I can say very comfortably that if you're an HR practitioner and I say, hey, I work in a small tech startup, people do recognize it, and that gives us joy.
Lovely.
I think building out a product firm out of India in a space where nobody believes anything can be built out of India is something that truly gives us joy. Building it out of Asia, where people say, hey, profitability can't be achieved. Hey, product fit can never be achieved, or a world-class product cannot be built, is something that's been really, really enriching for us. So as we built it out of Asia, one of the biggest things that's happened is we've scaled a product globally to employees across 135 countries last I checked.
Okay. Wow.
Being used globally by 4 million plus users. And that's been a real journey for me to experience, and I've been fortunate that I've been part of that journey. So I think that's the closest I've come to baptism by fire, but it's been a journey.
Okay, lovely. So I'm going to change gears. Let's get going into the topic. 2023 onwards, we suddenly switch from this whole topic of systems, data into AI, GenAI, and the super agents came knocking on the doors, and conversations kept on happening at a supersonic pace. Where do you think we are as an industry? And I would love to get, Vaibhav, your opinion, because you've spent some time on HR tech, digital transformation. And of course, Aditya, I'll come to you as well. But so much is changing so fast. Where do you think we are heading?
Like earlier you said, nobody has a crystal ball, but I would liken it to an analogy. Let me take a step back.
Okay.
And I think it will be good for viewers to see that because they will relate to it. 150 years back, a technology was developed which was internal combustion engine. Now, when that kind of a technology developed, nobody could imagine that what kind of variety of use cases will come with it. Now, the first version of the car that got developed was something will be today considered as a relic of the past. I think we are at a stage where, similar to IC engine, we have a technology of the next 100 years, which is GenAI. We don't know really that what all new use cases will really emerge from it. The challenge today that we have is like from IC to a car, there are hundreds of other components which have to come up. have to be innovated, developed, refined, optimized. And it took about, let's say, 50 years for some of the really good sports cars, Formula One cars to come up. But in case of Gen AI, I would take my bet that that 50-year journey will be covered in 10 years now. And I think that's going to be a fundamental difference. So that's one. The second is way back in 2019, when I was leading the HR technology initiative and had my own data science team, we were able to develop a personalized learning recommendation engine on our own data, on our learning platform. It took us some time to do it. We took a lot of data and it was traditional data science approach. Today, and there was a particular team which could do it. And just to give an example, another team could not do it. Now, Gen AI will bring this kind of capabilities and democratize to everyone. And it's very general purpose technology. So I think there's a bit of a journey where we have to still understand what are the other components of the car really required. At the same time, this technology is going to enable everyone, the entire humanity, to a different level of performance and capability in a much faster pace. So I think it's going to be good. I'm quite positive about it.
And how are you seeing this as a tech company that is already making a lot of strides in this segment, Aditya?
No, I think we were earlier discussing it's more like everyone's figuring this out. If I said we figured it all out and we know this, I'd be selling snake oil and this will not age well. But one of the things that I think I really love that analogy, and what I feel is also missing is the fact that when the ICE engine came along, did you want to be the biggest horse dealer or the car dealer, right? And really, the differentiation is as people and systems build, right? Getting people from the horses to the cars also was a journey in itself. And that's a huge one, which for me as a HR practitioner comes first. Second, just when you talk about super agents and everything, and just to add a little bit of cynicism into this conversation, quite often we see people talk about, hey, can you do some AI on this, right? As technologists, as practitioners who are trying to do this. And I genuinely, truly believe that if your data is not right, no amount of AI, no amount of frameworks will do anything to what you're trying to do, right? And what we've realized is most data frameworks and most AI and ML is essentially regression and correlation models on steroids at best, right? It's not the cool thing to say, but that's what they are. And if I had to oversimplify, that's where we boil it down to. Your ability to democratize is really what will make that difference. But how do you ensure that people start getting comfortable with it is the biggest challenge I see. And they get their data right. It's the biggest challenge I see.
Well, there's been a huge talk around data all this while, and people wanting to get data right. I think it's high time that we set the house in order. But organizations who've had their house in order, or who had already set themselves on a path of getting their things in place, getting data in place, I think they are the ones who are going to reap the benefits far better.
Absolutely.
And someone else might start, but that journey is going to also take a longer time as part of this. I actually see this as a battle, a race where different organizations are going to, even countries for that matter, how they are looking at using AI as a strategy. But it might just be a difference between how organizations scale.
Would be a big factor, but I would presume that maybe it's not going to be the only factor which can determine an advantage or a disadvantage. On the data side, I must say that I believe that if you even put together all sort of data today, it's less than 5% of the data that is going to get generated then in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of variety of data which is still not there. So having just older data not necessarily be an advantage,
Mm.
because if that date somebody comes up with an additional set of parameters on the similar data
Yes.
or generates the data
Yeah.
with some more advantage,
I love that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
they
mean,
would
Wow.
have a significant headway. And I'll give you two examples on this.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Google had all the data.
Yeah.
Did OpenAI had the data? It was always assumed nobody can beat Google because the kind of access and the management, data management they have, it's unbeatable.
Yeah.
But that didn't turn out to be true. And there are other examples. So I would keep my fingers crossed on that point.
Mm.
no, absolutely. And I think I do agree with you there, right? Like in the sense that, so when you look at data, right, it has to be the right foundations, right? If you have the right foundations, you can build so much on top of that, right? And that really makes that difference.
Yeah. The real difference with GenAI that has come up is today, earlier, if you required X amount of data, now you come up with only 5% of that X, but better quality
Yeah.
data.
Yes.
You might have a better product
Mm.
than somebody holding 20 times more data than you.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I think
And
data, if we had to put a framework around it, sorry for the consultant in me, but you have to have volume, velocity, and veracity.
Mm.
If you have data, and that's one of the foundational elements we worked on, you can have the best machine learning models, you can
Yeah.
have the best frameworks in place, right? But how do you ensure that you have a right updated flow of data?
Mm.
How do you ensure you have veracity of data, that you've got reliable input coming in
Yeah.
with enough frequency,
Yeah.
is something that becomes really cool. And I think, like you were saying about the whole, the opportunity is how do you actually look at new data sets,
new data sets.
new data points, and that becomes really, really interesting as you leapfrog.
Even input mediums, if I was to add to it, like I was speaking to professor from Columbia on one of my podcasts, and Hod said that, you know what, all these AI glasses that you have are actually data gathering mediums to train robots,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
That how are you getting so many cars to sort of build more data so that there could be a far more predictable model. So there are new input sources also getting devised
Absolutely.
as we are creating more and more data around it.
I would give you a very advanced version of it,
Sure.
which I did a post on LinkedIn recently.
Mm.
So in Tesla Optimus, uh, so Elon posted the video of Optimus learning the judo from a real human judo expert. Now that data transfer is experiential. Like I said, keeping my fingers crossed.
So now, moving forward from there, all of this stuff is happening around us. How does this fit into our organizations, our large, heavy, scaling organizations? To add to it, let's put manufacturing on top of it as well, saying that industries now wanting to get this AI into their business models, into their operations, let's say HR ops for that matter. How do you see that coming in? Is that journey going to be smooth? It's treacherous?
Let me start with what Bill Gates said.
Hmm.
And he said at least a couple of sectors, energy and manufacturing, is where the AI impact is going to be least in the near term. So, having said that, but AI is definitely a game changing technology. Uh, I think fundamentally, if I have to see, uh, if you look at typically any operating model or any business model, the embedded domain technology on which the real business model is running is where the real value gets generated.
Hmm.
Rest everything is process and managing layer.
Yeah.
Typical example is on the support functions.
Hmm.
Of course, there are a lot of low hanging fruits on these support and managing layers. But the core business value generating in either you talk about energy sector, manufacturing sector, power sector,
Yeah.
most of these sectors, that is domain technology is not going to change. For example, the technology on which the plant is built, that's a different kind of technology. You can bring incremental changes with technologies of IoT or AI, but you're not fundamentally changing the core technology of that business. So I think the process and managing layer, when you look at, there are two kind of impacts that I professionally feel are going to be felt by every organization. One is the individual productivity. And what I mean by that is, if you look at typical organization layers, the top layers, we are going to experience a 2x to 3x productivity gain. But the bottom layers, an individual productivity may go up by 10x.
That's a huge jump that you're predicting.
I will literally say not predicting, by first hand experience.
Wow. Give us an example.
I'll give an HR example.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
look at recruitment. And it's not necessarily, when I say 10x productivity to where you are today. If you typically look at a recruiter with best of the ATS platforms, still anywhere between 50% to 80% time really goes around sourcing, managing CVs, candidate management.
Yeah.
Now, if that goes away, you're freeing up 50 to 80% time of an individual. Amplified further, that the search, for example, look at a pile of 500 CVs. Now, technology is working both ways, working for the recruiters, working for the candidate. Earlier, 10 years back, if we do a job posting on a platform, you would get typically, let's say, 200, 300 CVs. Today, you do job posting on platform, you get 2,000 CVs in 24 hours. Yeah.
This is so close to heart.
Humanly impossible
Yeah.
to sift through.
Yeah.
Now, your best candidate could be number 999, but a human cannot go till there. But technology today doesn't matter 2,000, 5,000, doesn't matter 24 hours. In 24 hours, you will have the top 3. Yeah. Now, what that is doing is it's accelerating the process, the entire process, which means, to give an example, my hiring timeline can crash from 60 to 90 days to 1 week.
Yep.
So there's an amplification. When I say 10x, an individual productivity may be 3x, 4x, 5x. But when you look at the entire process, the productivity has gone actually 10x. And that's what I mean, because the lower you go into the organization, the individual roles are more tactical and transactional. They shouldn't be doing it, but the problem is that's how things are happening. And I think that's where we are going to see a massive change. But when you look at the core business, the core operating models, core manufacturing technologies, until those technology changes, for example, you can enhance the experience of your car drive by putting in a Bluetooth and a Spotify. But can you go faster on the road? Because the car can't fly.
We are in India. Let's not get into roads.
Let's say the traffic. You can't change the traffic. So now, unless you have a technology change of the car itself, that okay, you have some flying cars. You can't really reach your destination faster. And that's what I mean. A little distinction between how GenAI will impact these kind of industries more on the periphery. Versus maybe service industries could be very differently impacted.
What I think it also opens up is this whole aspect of first principles thinking, and really questioning the fundamentals and status quo on whatever organizations are driving, building, and I think GenAI gives us that opportunity to sort of go and say that, really question, it's been happening in this way. Does it really need to happen in this way?
I think that's a brilliant point you made, Pushkar, because what GenAI does is, or these kind of technologies, they help you experiment. I don't think you figure out first principles first and then do things. You do things and then figure out first principles. And I think the play here is that you can try things out and then really remove some layers and then see, okay, this is where fundamentals is. And you can reimagine how things can be done.
See, as an entrepreneur, I always say that, if you have to fail fast at least and move on.
Exactly.
because at least it gives you so much learning on building the next big thing. And if 99 things have to fail and one thing has to succeed, then let's get the 99 out quickly so that we arrive at the one that is going to succeed.
Yeah, and like Thomas Edison said, he didn't fail 99 or 999 times. He learned those many number of ways how not to do things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think fail different and fail fast
Absolutely
is super important and super critical.
How are you seeing, Aditya, this whole space, and especially working with so many clients? Where do you think AI is really coming in as part of the HR transformation processes, HR operating models? Still early times, or you really feel organizations are doing some very good experiments?
No, so I think still early.
Okay.
However, we do see some beacons.
Okay.
And if I look at my client base and the folks I've had the privilege of working with, we see some real shining lights. We see some change makers, right? And what we're seeing is how people are really innovating, not only with GenAI, but also with agentic.
Yeah.
How are they really looking at it, not as a feature, but they're starting to look at how do I actually look at the entire life cycle and start reimagining that. And that's where the real opportunity lies, right? Because I think, and I'm not going to be very popular for saying this, but while externally we'll always say HR is all about employee experience, it's all about the employee value proposition. The reality is, behind closed doors, HR is always questioned for the cost to serve, right? It's always questioned, like, because at the end of the day, everything is in service of the business. And to make sure that the business works better, either you bring a differentiation on what is the value you're adding, or else you're a cost to serve, right? What I'm seeing with the beacons is really a deep focus on taking the elements which are cost to serve,
Okay.
and simplifying it. One, so the folks who are keeping it simpler, can technology do 45 different things? Yes, it can. Do you need it to do 45 different things becomes the important one, right? Just because, hey, this was how it was done earlier, or this is how the labor costs were then back then, or this was the technological limitation then. Do you need to do it this way today? And do you need to do this many variations of it? Is an element that I've seen a lot of people ask. So once we look at folks really re-looking at their processes, really reinventing what are we trying to deliver as an outcome,
Okay.
is where I've seen the best outcomes getting delivered. The second is, how do I actually ensure that the time that's getting freed up helps the business better, right? So for example, the recruiter example that you've talked about, right? Now that we freed up the recruiter time, how are we ensuring that the recruiter can help the business hire a better person, right? And that's where we are moving up the value chain as HR professionals.
Yeah.
Not a very popular thing to say, but that's really important for us at scale.
Yeah. I hope we get out from that and talk more about fitment.
Yes, absolutely. And it gives us more time and gives us more opportunity. But at the same time, it puts more pressure on us as professionals to upskill, to level up, really. And that's the real opportunity for us.
If I can add,
Yeah.
I would say the time of HR has come.
Absolutely.
Let me elaborate.
Yeah.
So, first of all, in the way I see professionally, the purpose of HR is not just the cost of serving the people function, but actually figuring out ways that how can you can continue to find new and new bars for people excellence. And that's a dimension which is not very straightforward science. The example is, for example, the recruiter. Now, the recruiter that I have in my fold over here. So the difference is, you look at typical organizations, for the last 20-30 years, it has been about the process standardization and digitization. What you're trying to do is you're trying to remove the human variance in transactions.
Yeah.
now things will move towards people decisions. The real value comes from decisions. The process standardization is like you're setting a minimum threshold of you don't
Hygiene.
won't have a risk below it, you won't have a loss below it. But when you start working on the people decisions as the layer, you're augmenting in a way like your top line. You're
Absolutely.
raising the overall bar of the organization. In the example of the recruiter, the focus has shifted down on the quality of interviews, the quality of hiring, which earlier we may put no matter how many KPIs, how much we push, but the recruiters were simply not able
The
to
only
focus on it.
metric was the TAT that mattered.
And how it plays out, see how the quality of the funnel is changing the game. Earlier, for 2 months, 3 months, if you're not finding a candidate, the panel has interviewed some 20, 30 candidates. You were making a decision, a suboptimal decision of whatever the pool you get.
Yep.
Today, the decision making is shifted where you're taking 3 or 5 interviews and you need one, but you like two. And so I think the game of the organizations is going to shift now of how do you improve the people decision making process, not really process standardization, but people decision making. And that will throw very interesting insights, which has not been there so much available, that some people are really good at it, some people are not good at it. Now, how do you bring a minimum consistency in the people decision making by thousands of managers?
No, absolutely. And that's where AI should be used, right? How can I help augment that decision making? How can I ensure that I'm not using AI just for JD generation?
Yeah.
How do I actually, so for example, and just to take this example forward, right? So the candidates also getting smarter, right? So
Of
you
course.
write JDs with AI, candidates also write CVs with AI, right? So, but how do you ensure that you're augmenting the manager to actually look at what is the right kind of experience and enabling them to ask the right things? And this is something AI can do really well.
Yeah. And I would say from a first hand experience, it's not just going to be so AI is going to surface a lot of things,
Yes.
will help you do things. But the focus is now going to shift how HR is going to help the line managers raise the game.
Absolutely.
Now, in the last couple of years, I've taken a special initiative where across my mid to senior manager layer, we did a sandwich program of 6 months journey to which is manager as a coach across,
Okay.
because it has to be now fundamental skill of managers.
And I think it's one of the things which will really become important and
It is the
differentiated.
foundational
I could
skill.
not
Yeah.
agree more. Yeah.
So if we have to raise the game on the people decision making, you need to have literally a skill stack which managers need to have,
Yeah.
which they have been completely lacking.
Correct.
And I must tell you this, managers who have been managers for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years experience, they have hardcore engineers. They have never been exposed to these kind of ICF frameworks. They literally told me, man, why did I didn't get it 20 years back?
Because you were too focused on being technically correct.
No, but and this is where I say my HR credibility and respect with my line
Yeah.
has gone through the roof.
Wow.
And that's why I say the time of HR has come, because now we have a real opportunity to make a difference, not just in the process, but in day to day how people managers, line managers are going to make a difference.
No, I love that actually. And I think I found the most amount of genuineness and curiosity in technical folks. When they look at
Yeah.
these frameworks,
Yeah.
they will break it down 6 ways to Sunday and then figure out how to really, really apply it. And there's a genuineness there, which
And
once you're able to expose.
And I have to acknowledge
Yeah.
the vision of our chairman and my business EC sponsor. They've been like so generous. Yeah, let's go ahead, do it. Like these kind of investment on people are like, go ahead, just do it. And now out of those managers, 50 managers have chosen voluntarily to go full ICF certification.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, I've seen
Now
this
I have-
about the group.
Yeah, so and I'm talking about one small business vertical
Wow.
No, I've seen this about the group. They've invested in their folks a lot.
On learning,
done it
people
consciously.
skilling,
Yeah.
I must say that the chairman has a very, very progressive advanced vision. Like platforms like Coursera and all, they have been available to entire group employees
Yeah.
and their families even before COVID.
Changing gears, gentlemen, going towards this whole topic about human and AI collaboration. And I think we've been talking about it throughout this podcast discussion about, okay, AI is able to do this, AI is able to scale over here. There are so many human aspects as part of it, you know, especially in a large organization, context, Vaibhav. And you've seen many of them. uh, where do you see the true AI human partnership? Because come to think of it, I think it's the partnership that's going to take it ahead.
Absolutely. And in fact, if I dare say a
Yeah.
step forward, you know, probably HR department, the human resource department, may get renamed very soon as human machine leadership department.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is there's a beautiful framework that I came across quite even before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
where humans are going to learn from machines, machines are going to learn from humans, they're going to collaborate to deliver, and that's how essentially work is going to happen in the future. In terms of the digital flow, there's going to be a lot of interdependency. So I won't be surprised very soon we'll have organizations who will start reporting, I have so many people and I have so many bots.
Yep.
I won't be surprised if the current HR department would be really spearheading the learning of the bots. And it may sound a little bit,
It's not far. It's already here. We are
yeah,
already
yeah,
having
but
people ask
I'm
that.
saying
Yeah.
that when you when we're talking of the HR departments, I don't see they're seeing it that way. Majority of them,
Hmm.
maybe from a technology service provider or a
Yeah.
product owner side, you might see it happening. But I think that is the fundamental change that is going to happen in the HR. So for me, it's about human machine leadership.
Aditya, how do you guys see it? And if I was to sort of double click a little more, give us a sense. Let's say, what are you seeing 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line? I don't want to go any further.
Um, can we talk about 6 months? No, I think, like you said, Vaibhav, the HR department's time has come, right? And that's really, really important because one of the things that we often forget
Mm.
is today there is only one core system of record
Yeah.
which has everyone from the CEO to the janitor
All use
on the same
technology.
system,
Yeah.
right? That's the only system across the life cycle,
Yes.
across any framework, right? So your marketing team will use special tools, your
Yeah,
sales team will
yeah,
use
yeah.
special tools. This is the only system which has everyone all the time with the right context, right? So as HR, our need and our desire to be custodians of the culture, of the way we do things becomes really, really important. How do you ensure you're using AI the right way becomes really important. How do you ensure that you're leveraging AI for business benefit while still containing it, right? I've seen so many places where into the open commercial models, people are
Yeah.
uploading decks, which are trade secrets. And how do you do responsible AI becomes really important, right?
Yeah.
So, just coming back to your question on how do I see it shaping up? Like I said, some of our change makers are already asking us for what you said, right? Can you give me audit logs of what was done by an agent versus what was done by the shared services person, right? Can you tell me why did this action happen? And we are also getting asks already, which is very, very encouraging for me to see. I would wish as a technology person everyone does it, but really already getting asks on, hey, can I visualize this on my structure? Can I have managers with 40 bots or 40 tools mapped to that, right? And people are already starting to move in that direction. So some of the early adopters are really going down that path where they're saying, hey, how do I leverage AI and human better? more consciously and more responsibly, right? Uh, Again, adding a little bit dose of cynicism. But what's happening more often than not is we take the generative elements or we take the creative elements and we are giving that to AI to do. It's essentially spitting back what it's learned from our creativity, right? So if I had to simplify, right, can I look at AI doing all the repetitive tasks for me? Can I look at AI giving me insights for making better decisions? And can I use AI for doing reminders, nudges for the positive momentum or moments that we can create? That's how I would want it to be used. Instead, it's being used for the most creative elements. Hey, AI is telling me this is the right candidate. No, that's where, like you said, our importance or our responsibility to build out a better decision is really what we needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's what we're trying to make some of our clients, and we're working with a lot of our change makers.
Very interesting. And I'll pick up from what you said, Vaibhav, on the whole aspect of HR's time has come. Uh, I'm a very big optimist about this. And I'll tell you why. Um, when social media came into existence, and, first of all brands said that, no, this is just a fad, it will go away, till the time that, it became very important because brands' reputations were going through toss and people were sort of really worried. And everyone thought that since this is somewhere digital, this will fall under either the head of digital or head of technology. People are almost seeing it as tagged to IT. And as it evolved today, social can actually make or break your brand or business. It somewhere landed with the CMO. And CMO was not even in the race when social started as an ecosystem. Uh, I feel that there's a similar movement now where everyone's tagged AI to be a IT-led, CIO-led initiative. I'm a big optimist that CHRO has a big candidature to say that, what, we could actually lead this legacy. That's my thought.
No, you're actually absolutely right. And there are few organizations globally where the CHRO is now leading the human resource and the technology function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are organizations who have done it.
Yes.
And there are two primary reasons for that. One is the moment you start seeing it that at the end of the day, it's about productivity and excellence. Now, these two factors, the human and the technology, both are now intertwined for productivity and excellence. But which one has to lead it? Who is in the driver's seat? It's not the technology, it's the people.
Yeah.
So, who is the one function to lead it? Is the HR function.
Yep.
And I'm a sitting example of it. Like when I was given this opportunity by, I must say that directly from the vision from the chairman that, okay, let's do an HR technology platform. I was not from IT function. I led a completely a technology team because it is the domain, the product, and the vision which has to drive it. For what purpose? So I have no two minds about it. It may not happen like complete merging like some companies have done it.
Yeah.
But today there's an expectation that the HR leader is going to give us some way forward, how to deal with it. There's also this other reason. If things or technology projects or implementations are not really giving the ROI, the number one factor is adoption by people.
Yep.
Now, again, the expectation is from HR to
Yeah.
help on that. So, if it is to happen, HR has to lead the way. If it is not happening, then HR has to lead the way.
No,
So
I
HR
could
time has
not
come.
agree. I could not agree more. I think this is going to be the theme of the podcast. HR's
Yeah.
time has come, right? But really, and HR is truly the future, right? Because keep in mind the French fry, right?
Yeah.
The only differentiation is the people factor,
Yeah.
right? How do you ensure you get people primed and ready? And HR really has to show the way. We can't just say, hey, this is AI, so IT will take a call on what model or what framework. Uh, we have to be the ones who are taking a decision and a direction. And that's truly, I could not agree more on what
In
you
fact,
shared there.
let me raise the stakes on this particular
Okay.
point. In India, 1.4 billion people. It can be a great asset. It can also be a big drag. How to augment the overall societal workforce, the right kind of education, skills, engagement, productivity. Who are the best experts to solve it?
I'm already a convert, so
No, but I'm just trying to put here a vision that this is
yeah,
not just about profit making
I
organizations,
agree.
and it is about where you want to take forward the nation. And I think when I say HR timers come, what I mean by this special, the expertise, this particular function, the people, there is so much to do. There's so much of work to do, and I think we have to think how these new technologies are going to help us to do this, rather than thinking about okay, this technology is going to take away some part of it. It's part of the life. It's part of the cycle. But I think when I say HR time has come, which means there are bigger challenges for HR to deal with.
I think Vaibhav's just given us a fabulous tagline on this whole futurist piece that we are driving. I think futurist is not about just looking into the future, but it's also about taking ownership and driving the change and making it happen, putting the hand up, saying that, you know what, I've got you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a true futurist.
Yeah. So I think we need more and more HR leaders like you saying that, you know what, I'm going to take it up. I'm going to sort of
Yeah, and
put that
all
up.
futurists have to be optimists like you.
Yeah. Optimism is where some of the crazy things have happened in this world.
You have to always try it out.
Yeah.
If you don't try, you'll never know
Yeah.
whether it worked or you didn't work, right? You
Yeah.
have to ensure that you're really elevating the conversation and say, hey, did I do it differently this time? Did I get a different outcome this time?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that becomes really important.
So, parting away, Vaibhav, to you, we really need to look at the whole cultural aspect as well. You know, we talked about it in our conversation. What do you think, as CHROs, you would leave a message saying that, you know what, this is where you would create an optimal environment for AI and change to thrive in organizations? If you were to sort of give out a parting message to people who are listening, saying that, hey, I would love for you to think about these 3 or 4 things.
Wow, you're asking me the holy grail.
That truly is the holy grail.
Yeah, let me take a shot at it. At the heart of it, I see that the leadership
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely the key. As humans, we always seek some kind of inspiration. Sometimes we seek inspiration in this material world, sometimes we seek inspiration in the spiritual world, but we always seek an inspiration. And in organization, the leaders, whether they like it or they don't like it, they realize it or they don't realize it, they act as the single biggest factor of inspiration. So for me, the first thing is, if I have to define the aspect of leadership, that's authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, uh, it doesn't matter whether somebody stayed fresher out of college or somebody's 20 years experience. All humans have this innate ability to cut through the chase and feel that is this authentic. The show up doesn't work. And authentic leadership, when it comes not just by and with consistency,
Mm.
then you are building a great culture. And I have seen leaders firsthand, I see them day in, day out, kind of authentic effort, intent, hard work they put in. There's nothing required to be said or to be written on the walls. It's there.
Mm.
The second aspect, I would say, of building the great culture is that people do need help. We have typically we call it in the way HR parlance a listening organization or otherwise. If people feel that okay, when I'm stuck, I know where to go and seek help. Sometimes just a shoulder to cry on, sometimes just to explain my point of view. If that aspect exists, you are building a great credibility. We don't have to think that we have to solve every problem, but we have to give an avenue, an aspect for people to feel that, okay, I can go and express. I think authentic leadership with consistency and a great avenue for people to come and express or seek help are the two aspects. Rest, I think all the Gyan people know. So I'll leave it there.
No, that's really cool. I
And
could not agree. I think this is very similar to I think the HR perspective study that you had done, right?
yeah,
People are emotional beings, right? People think from emotions, and more often than not, we'll think programmatically. How do you ensure that you are ensuring that emotion moves from, hey, I'm here just for my 9 to 5, to being a part of bleeding the organization? I am the organization. That will happen only with authenticity and credibility. Could
Oh,
not.
by the way, I was not part of that study, so
Yeah,
just a
I didn't
caveat.
know that. Yeah, but I think that framework, you really like so succinctly put it.
yeah,
Authenticity and credibility
yeah.
goes longer than anything else in building out the right
In
culture.
fact, I published an article in People Matters
Mm-hmm.
way back in 2021. In COVID, I had some time to reflect on,
Mm-hmm.
and I published an employee experience framework using iceberg analogy. There are
Wow.
3 layers to it. Would be happy to share.
Sure,
It's
would
still
love
very
to.
relevant. I look back and I realize, oh wow, it's still
It
very
aged well.
yeah. I know. It's like first principles.
Hmm.
Now at the bottom of it, it's these deep values: authenticity, credibility, trust. Now, when we're talking of employee experience, we are typically talking more of digital. They're transactional. They will have an impact, but they will last few seconds to few minutes, maybe a
Hmm.
couple of days. Then the experience come from progressive policies. Their impact would last maybe few months, maybe year, 2 year. But what does last a lifetime? It is these deep values. So when we talk of employee experience, it's not just digital,
Yeah.
it is all these aspects. And at the bottom layer is these cultural values. It doesn't matter a person or an employee spends 1 year or 5 years or 15 years with you, but that one moment of authenticity, people remember lifetime.
That's the moment that matters for them,
That's
right?
the moment that matters. Correct.
Absolutely. Lovely, gentlemen, to have you on this discussion. And as part of the People Matters Darwinbox series on getting the futurists up, I'm glad that Weber, we had you and we were able to share some very authentic, unfiltered thoughts over here.
Thank you to Darwinbox People Matters for having me here. It was great pleasure and thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
Uh, I hope I'll be able to make some distance, cover some distance as a futurist.
We all are in the journey.
We are on the journey.
We are trying to get there. The only thing is the goalpost keeps on moving, right?
Yeah.
Forward.
But the fun is in the journey.
Absolutely. That's the piece. But thanks for joining in. And my takeaway is HR's time has come.
Absolutely. We have to create the next era, right? And that's how we have to do it.
Lovely, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.